Sports.
Back in 1976, the Buccaneers lost 25 straight games, which is still the longest losing streak in NFL history. As we all know, the Browns are on a losing streak of their own. They have lost 24 straight games coming into today's matchup against the Vikings. So we go across the pond, the Browns trying not to be a part of that losing streak history. First quarter, Browns striking first. Isaiah Crowell going up the middle for the 26-yard touchdown. Looks like London may be lucky early on. Late in the second, it's Deshaun Kaiser. He keeps it himself for the quarterback sneak. Cleveland taking the lead 13-12 at the break, but the second half was a different story. The Browns are outscored 21-3, including this beautiful Kyle Rudolph touchdown. Browns lose again 33-16, tying the longest losing streak in NFL history.
I think that we obviously showed in the first half that we had a proper game plan for this stout defense we're playing against, and we weren't able to go out and execute our jobs the way we should in the second half to be able to make the plays to stay up with the second half push that the Vikings had.
Again, we come up on the short end of the stick. We can't finish one, so that's just kind of where we are. But I thought we had our chances. I think this team has given me everything I've asked. They're playing hard and doing everything. We're just coming up short. It's just where we are. So we'll keep going from there.
The Bengals hosting the Colts at Paul Brown Stadium. Starting in the second, tied at threes, Jacoby Brissett finds Jack Doyle in the end zone. Colts go up 10-3. Bengals answer. Later in the second, Andy Dalton goes over the top for A.J. Green. The 8-yard strike ties the game at 10 apiece. We go to the third. Bengals trailing by 3. The Red Rifle out of the gun gets hit as he throws, but Josh Malone makes the adjustment and secures the catch. Bengals up 17-13. It's a barn burner in Cincy. Colts trying to add on to their lead, but Carlos Dunlap has other ideas. The good old-fashioned tip drill at the line, and no one's going to stop that man from finding 6. Bengals win 24-23.
We kept overcoming ourselves throughout the day today, and we obviously there at the end, and the big play there by Carlos and the return and so forth. But again, that's what happens. Everybody plays their tail off to win, and today we made plays when we needed to down the stretch.
Let's take a break from the NFL. When we come back, it's playoff season on the high school gridiron. See who's facing who right after this quick timeout. Welcome back. Our Basement Doctor Play of the Week comes from the Perry Commodores, as this very play locked up their first playoff berth in school history. Perry leading by 6 with under a minute to go. Elgin has a chance to make a late drive, but Martell White has a reservation for 6. The junior comes up with a huge interception and takes it 45 yards to the house. Perry wins 28-14, stealing their first Week 11 appearance. And while we're on the topic, here are the rest of your brackets. No one advancing in Division 1, so we will start in Division 2 and work our way down. Sydney is our only team representing the area in this division. The Yellow Jackets open at home against Belmont. In Division 3, Region 11, Bellefontaine is the number 1 seed. The Chieftains, 9-1, their only loss to Division 2 Sydney. Same division, but switching regions. Facing a must-win scenario, Elida gains the last playoff spot with a win over Ottawa Glandorf. The Bulldogs open on the road against number 1 ranked Trotwood Madison. Moving to Division 4, the Western Buckeye League champions of St. Mary's are our only representatives. Head coach Doug Fry and his Rough Riders open at home against 8-2 Highland. 2 schools making the cut in Division 5. Indian Lake grabs the 6th seed in Region 18. The Lakers will face Archbold in the opening round, while Anna secures the 7th seed in Region 20. The 7-3 Rockets will be on the road against 8-2 Madison Senior. Here's where the local teams start piling in. 7 different teams in Division 6. Liberty Benton locks up the number 1 seed and will open with a home game. One of the most eye-opening stats about this team, the Eagles have not allowed a single point to be scored on them while playing on their home field. To me, that's just amazing. LB will host 8-seeded Ada, the Bulldogs trying to become the first team to score on the road against the Eagles. Then in Region 24, Lima Central Catholic is your number 1 seed. From 2-8 to 9-1 in the span of a year, the T-Birds look to keep soaring against Dayton Christian. Making their 21st straight playoff appearance, which is the longest streak in Ohio. Coldwater coming in at number 4. They will host Bethel. 2 more MAC teams in the same region. The Midwest Athletic Conference champions of Marion Local open at Booster Stadium. Their opponent, Fort Recovery. That's a Week 8 rematch. Marion winning that contest 21-10. And filling out the last part of this bracket, the NWC champs of Spencerville will host Mechanicsburg. This will be the 3rd straight year that head coach Chris Summers will play against the Indians. Last but certainly not least, we have 11 teams in Division 7. Wayne Trace grabs the 8th seed. They will face the the #1 seed of St. Paul. And we have another rematch. Macomb facing Leipzig. Their Week 6 contest ended 29-14 in favor of Macomb. The Panthers hosting Leipzig once again. And one more BVC team making the postseason, Pandora Gilboa. The Rockets lock up a home playoff game against Mohawk. We end in Region 28. 9-1 Crestview is your #1 seed. They get a home game and will face 6-4 Ansonia. Right below them, Minster and Fort Loramie. Two teams that squared off in Week 1. Now they get each other again in the first round of the postseason. These towns are only 5 minutes apart on Route 66, so this game will have quite the crowd. Another rematch, Lehman Catholic versus Perry. The Cavs top the Commodores 49-13 in Week 9, and our final matchup features St. John's against Riverside. They will host the Pirates at home. And what a week in college football. Alabama still your #1 ranked team. Georgia receiving 2 first-place votes as they move to second. And with one of the best fourth quarters I have ever seen, Ohio State jumps into the #3 spot with their comeback win over Penn State. Right behind them, another Big Ten team, Wisconsin moving up 1 spot to #4. And how about Notre Dame? In the span of 7 weeks, the Fighting Irish have climbed from being unranked all the way up to #5. Clemson right behind them, and the Nittany Lions dropping to the 7th spot. The only team to beat Ohio State this season moves up 2 spots, Oklahoma sitting at #8, and America's team is now in the 14th spot. The Iowa State Cyclones beat #3 Oklahoma on the road, and then 3 weeks later go and beat TCU, the #4 ranked team in the nation, at home. In 3 weeks, they've gone from unranked to 14th. And our last Big Ten team in the polls, Michigan State, after their loss to Northwestern, the Spartans drop 8 spots to 24th. Switching gears to NASCAR, we head to Martinsville Speedway, also known as the Paperclip. With less than 3 laps to go, here's some drama. Chase Elliott, your leader, but Denny Hamlin gets behind him and puts Elliott into the wall. They say Rubbin's racing, but to put it lightly, Elliott wasn't a happy camper. We go into overtime, and it's Kyle Busch and Cup Series leader Martin Truex Jr. Busch beats him to the line, advancing to his 3rd consecutive championship 4, but it's not a playoff race without some chaos. A sloppy finish leads to a parking lot at the line. You see Elliott and Hamlin exchanging words right here. Not too happy, but hey, suspense for Texas.
Uh-oh, getting heated.
Exactly.
All right, thanks so much, John. We'll be right back.